That one you see there is the best-selling pickup truck in the United States, the #1 in sales worldwide, the Ford F-150. And today, I'm going to tell you 4 things that almost nobody knows about how it's made, as well as some curious and really interesting facts that are going to surprise you. Because definitely, this pickup, with all the sales it has, is the envy of its competitors and direct rivals. Which ones? The Ram 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado. Plus the Toyota Tundra, though it's a bit behind. The last thing, I'm sure you never would have imagined it, the last of these 4 spectacular things that I've had the chance to see firsthand, because I was exclusively invited to the plant in Dearborn, in Detroit, where the Ford F-150 is built, and they've told me the secrets. When I say I was exclusively invited, I mean no one else was there. At least for Spanish-language automotive content, the video is excellent. I think after watching it, if you have a Ford F-150, you're going to love it, because you'll confirm a lot of things and you'll be happy to know you have a Ford F-150, but if you don't have one, you might consider getting one. If you hate it, you can skip the video or keep watching. You might find some surprising facts, or simply learn more about the Ford F-150, which is not just a pickup truck. It's a whole cultural phenomenon. In the United States, it's sold in quantities that any other manufacturer can only dream of. We're talking about nearly 800,000 units a year, which means that practically every minute someone in the United States takes a new F-150 home to their garage. Welcome! First fact. The first thing that surprises you is good. Also, when I was there at the plant, the first thing they tell you is that when you're walking, and I'll show you, you can only step on a yellow line. You don't want to compromise anything or get close to where the workers are, who carefully watch every detail. Also, there are things they say not to film. Why? Because the competition watches these videos and could get information that is private. Let's say it's a private secret, which is part of the brand's confidentiality. We understand that. What's surprising is how quickly it's produced. Check out this fact. Every 53 seconds, a new Ford F-150 rolls off the assembly line. Picture this. While you drink a coffee, several new F-150 trucks roll out. This precision is possible thanks to perfect synchronization between robots, state-of-the-art machinery, and of course, thousands of specialized workers, human beings. And I want to emphasize this when I say human beings, because despite all this integration, all this bombardment of artificial intelligence, robotization, electronic technology that many people fear for their jobs, well, actually, during my participation in this exclusive event I was invited to, they were telling me that it's actually the opposite. All of this needs a workforce, human beings who can make it a reality. And against Victoria, what are you thinking? They need a lot more people to keep joining companies like this one, like Ford, companies that are related to the automobile industry, so that this keeps happening and success continues to grow. Because in the times we live in, a lot of people are letting themselves be intimidated by this thing called artificial intelligence, thinking that if it's true, this is going to take away jobs. This is going to take away opportunities. Or it's changing several industries, but in others, if you aim for the right place, there can be a lot of work, especially for Hispanics here in this country. Pay attention to that. Now, here's fact number 2, or the second thing I want to tell you. Did you know this about the manufacturing of the Ford F-150 assembly time? Well, this pickup truck, from scratch, takes just 6.5 hours to be ready. The first fact I gave you is that every 53 seconds a finished truck rolls out. That doesn't mean it's built in 53 seconds. I mean, even though robots and artificial intelligence are very good, they still haven't managed to do it in that record time. It doesn't take 6.5 hours to build a truck from scratch. What happens is that there are a lot of workers and they're building a lot of pickup trucks. They reach a record of 1 every 53 seconds. After 6.5 hours, many Ford F-150 pickup trucks come out of each one. You can see it in some of the images I showed you, which I took with my camera. Can you see, let's say, how this whole daily work dynamic works to get the Ford F-150 out? 6.5 hours may seem long, but consider the number of parts: electrical systems, engine, transmission assembly, interiors, paint, and final tests. 6.5 hours. It's almost a record. To put it in perspective, some luxury cars take days to complete, so you can make the comparison. Third fact, The workforce. I mentioned this earlier, but it's the human power driving everything. More than 3,600 employees make it possible for thousands of units to come out every day in 2 work shifts. It's like a city working with a single goal: for the Ford F-150 pickups to be ready on time and with impeccable quality. Interestingly, many of those workers come from families that have built pickups for generations. Ford. We already know all the history it has. Ford has much more history than Ram, more than the Chevrolet Silverado. I mean, there's really a big history of the automobile industry in the United States and worldwide. There are employees whose grandfather and father also worked at the same plant. It's something really nice, beautiful. Fact 4. Here comes something unexpected. Is this real? When they showed it to me, I quickly took out my camera and filmed. It blew my mind that this assembly plant has what they call a living roof. And it's the living roof. So is it a living roof or just a roof with life? What's happening? That roof isn't just something decorative. It's not just aesthetic. What it has is, it's the living roof. The largest in the United States and possibly one of the largest in the world. I don't know, let's say, of any other place in the world where I've seen something like this. If you know of any, let me know in the comments and we can teach each other. But it's a gigantic garden on top of the Ford factory facilities, full of vegetation and wildlife. It regulates the temperature of the place. That's the purpose. It regulates the temperature of the place and changes with the seasons by regulating the temperature of the place. It keeps, obviously, those heat levels controlled inside the facilities of this factory. And that has many purposes, both at a technological level and, let's say, for the well-being of the employees who are working inside this factory. It's spectacular to see. And remember how I said it changes with the seasons? Of course, here we have autumn, winter, summer, and spring. At some point, this turns into a beautiful garden. Birds come. There are insects. There you have a record of everything you have in terms of fauna itself. Of the insects. I mean, of the animals that come and visit. It's something impressive. It's like you're watching a Discovery Channel special or something like that. One of those nature documentaries. But this is not only spectacular to look at, it also reduces energy costs and helps the environment. We're talking about more than 42,000 square meters of green roof, one of the largest in the world. As I said, in an industrial facility. Sorry to interrupt, but I have something important to tell you. These mats from the 3W Liners brand can help maintain your vehicle's resale value. If you sell it later, I'll explain why. One of the things people pay the most attention to when buying a vehicle is that the mats and especially the floor of the vehicle are in good condition, and it's one of the things that gets criticized the most. Well, to maintain or help maintain that resale value. These 3W mats are really special because they're designed with laser beams to fit the contours of your vehicle and protect it better. But that's not the only advantage. I'm going to tell you about more advantages. One of them is how easy it is to install, precisely because it's very flexible. It's made with thermoplastic elastomer material. And look, this is the driver's one. It has each of the contours of this Chevrolet Trax. And look, they fit. It's very easy. It has instructions, but you probably won't need them. Now let's install the passenger's one. These channels are made to protect against moisture from water and mud. It's not just an aesthetic thing. It actually has a purpose. They're also highly resistant to temperature. Look how easy it is to place it here on the passenger side. You also have the protective mat for the rear area, and you won't need to keep vacuuming because you get tired of vacuuming all the time. You're in place, see, effortlessly. And you know that when passengers or kids are in the back, this gets dirty like crazy. And for that, we're going to put on the rear piece, and you'll see. How easily do the 3W mats fit in this Chevrolet Trax 2025? Look, it fit right in. I think you could even do it with your eyes closed. It's not just for the Chevrolet Trax. Many other makes and models are included. Check the website to find the one for your vehicle. But you also have the big piece, which is the one for the trunk area here to protect your cargo. You even have the 3W seal here. It looks really nice there. It's different. This is cleaned in a way that's super simple, super easy. Just a stream of water to remove the dirt, dry it with a towel, and that's it. That's it. The laser-based design. This will protect every inch of your vehicle's floor. Also, they're more flexible than a very well-known brand that you know, which are very hard. It has a non-slip texture on both the top and bottom, so it stays firmly in place. And that way, when you're using your legs or your shoes, it won't move out of place. If you have a Chevrolet Trax 2025 like this, you can confidently order it. It will work great for you. It protects you against mud, snow, rain, moisture. Well, against all of that, you have really good protection. And remember, it also helps preserve your vehicle's resale value when you sell it. There are the 4, but I also have many more interesting facts. But first, if you're enjoying the video, I ask you to give me a like. It doesn't cost you anything, and subscribe, because it's important. A lot of people watch the videos, and I can see it in the statistics, but they don't subscribe when they watch. It's not only a way to show support for this channel, to keep delivering content and to keep working for you, but it's also a way for the information in each video you watch to reach more people who are interested in that particular topic. Today we're talking about the Ford F-150. So by subscribing, by liking, you can also help other people get this information that will be useful to them. More fun facts coming up. Now, beyond the factory, there are facts about the F-150 that very few people know, and that make it part of its legendary and historic status. On average, Ford sells more F-150s than McDonald's, for example, sells Big Macs in the United States. That's a figure? It's a really interesting fact. If you lined up all the F-150s sold in a year, you would go around the Earth more than twice. That's another interesting fact, and I have more. Since it first appeared in 1948, the F-Series has sold more than, attention, 40 million units. That means that, statistically, 1 out of every 10 pickups on the roads in the United States is an F-Series. And that doesn't just include the F-150, but also the F-250, the F-350. All the construction and cargo service trucks you see with the Ford F-Series badge are part of this statistic. The F-150, pay attention to this fact, was the first pickup to introduce a high-strength aluminum body in 2015. I made that video several years ago because it was innovative. This reduced its weight by almost 300 kilos, improving fuel efficiency without losing payload or towing capacity, as you can see. And nowadays, in addition to its traditional engines, the V6 and the V8, there is already a 100% electric version, which is the Ford F-150 Lightning, which was an immediate success in reservations. It has faced sales difficulties like all electric vehicles. Later on, obviously, the challenges came. And now, with the policy changes that happened in the United States, they also had to make adjustments. But this electric truck had over 200,000 orders before hitting dealerships when it launched. That's why it shouldn't be surprising that the Ford F-150 remains the undisputed queen, with sales that surpass any other vehicle in the United States. A pickup that is not only built at an impressive speed, but also has a history of innovation, hard work, and adaptation to the future behind it. And I thought that during this visit I made to Detroit, it was only fair and necessary to share with you what I experienced. Let's say, by taking me there firsthand to see all these secrets, all these things we don't get the chance to see every day. Well, I wanted to share all of this with you. And now I ask you, do you think that someday, could a Chevrolet Silverado or a Ram 1500 ever take that throne away from the Ford F-150 here in the United States as one of the best-selling trucks in the world? Well, let me know in the comments because I'd like to read your opinion. And another thing, if you're in the market or looking to buy a pickup truck, whether it's the Ford F-150, the Silverado, the Tundra, the Ram, or a midsize pickup, I advise you to go prepared to the dealership so they don't take you for a fool. Keep your mouth shut. There are several things I recommend you don't say because if you do, there are strategies they use against you. What for? To get more money out of you, right? And I'm not against everyone doing business. We all have the right to work, but we can also be prepared because we can have arguments to negotiate. I wrote a book called Shut Your Mouth at the Dealer. In the description of this video, you'll find information on how you can download it, and it will be extremely useful for you. Shut Your Mouth at the Leader, tips so that you go well prepared the next time you go to buy a vehicle. Whether it's a truck, pickup, sedan, SUV, whatever it is, shut your mouth at the dealer. You can see it clearly. Share your thoughts on these Ford F-150 facts in the comments. Did you know any of them? I have many people who have worked or currently work at Ford plants. People, let's say, friends who follow me on this channel, who very kindly, let's say, are part of the Freddie Car Power 360 community. Let me know what the experience is like working at the Ford plant or any other plant where you work. Chevrolet, Ram, Toyota. Also, please share your opinion there. I really enjoy your thoughts and sincerely appreciate it. It helps develop concepts and gain new criteria and perspectives you all provide. I'll be waiting for your comments there. If you like the video, I have another pickup truck over here that you're going to love, so go check it out. All right, that's all for now. I'll see you in the next video. A big hug.